Ladies, gentlemen, welcome back. And today we just got a little quick video, obviously on the beta. It's another beta video. I'm very kind of impromptu. I just noticed that they were there, so I thought we'd take a pre-look at the tier 5 archer, the Royal Longbowmen. Obviously, I can't use them yet. That comes out later, but I was just having a look at them, some of their abilities, and like reading some stuff about them. So I thought it might be interesting if you're not on the beta to be able to see what the Royal Longbowmen kind of have in their vet line and stuff like that. So, and their stats. So I thought, yeah, I thought it would be a nice thing to do. So let's have a look at the Royal Longbowmen. Here they are. Here they are, gentlemen. This is it. Their eyes look a little bit strange. Don't know how they're getting anything at long distance with those interesting eyes, but yeah. Anyway, sorry, that's distracting me. Extreme range, troop slayer, fantastic. 305 leadership. It's okay, it's not too much. Attributes, let's start with that. 2000 health. Obviously, I'm guessing this is level, like, obviously no levels on them, so they're obviously go to 30, so this will probably be around 5k, maybe 6k by the time they're max leveled. Nothing to really write home about this. I mean, we're already at 110 range. That's pretty good, and that's with no vet line. So I imagine that's going to get to a point where it's ridiculously far, and I do slight concerns about really, really powerful longbows, but you know, I'm here for it. Let's see where it takes us next season. Ammo is looking quite high as well, but obviously that doesn't really matter because you get a doctrine that gives you like 50% more ammo. So yeah, that's the stats. Anything else of note there? I will get to these in a second, and we'll get to the abilities in a second. We'll go to the vet line now. And these might not all be right in terms of there might be some that aren't finished yet. But on top line, it looks like we got max range increased by 10 meters. So yeah, we're already throwing out some range. True aim damage is increased by 5%. We don't know how many go into these. There could be a 3 node or a 2 node or just a 1. Light feather arrows, fire speed by 5%. I imagine will be 3 times. We'll get into what light arrow is. They've actually got a really interesting mechanic we'll get into that will make more sense in a second. Heavy bodkin reduces enemies' defense for 5 enemies' defense. Sorry. Heavy bodkins arrows reduce all defense types of enemy units for 5 seconds. Okay, nice. Reduces the heavy bodkins by 3%. I'm not sure. I think that seems a bit scuffed. Damage against ranged unit is increased by 10%. More range, another 3 meters there. Piercing penetration, and obviously piercing damage. More, another 3 meters here. Piercing damage, some more health, some more ammunition, some reduced range damage taken. Reduce the cooldown on lobbed arrow storm. Damage of lobbed arrow storm increased. Lobbed arrow storm cooldown. So long range and damage, long range up top. It looks like it's going to be a top line jobby. It depends how good lobbed arrow storm is. That we'll get into those in a second. So that's the vet line. And then if we go to these, we've got Royal Longshot. It's just obviously choose where you shoot, I believe. Orders the unit to attack enemies near designated area. Great. And then Lobbed Arrow Storm. Rains several lobbing volleys of arrows onto enemies within the target area, dealing increased damage. This skill cannot be used at close range. Okay. And it's usable. Minimum range does not shrink with distance. Interesting. That'd be interesting. I'm curious to see what that looks like. But then so what it was about the light arrows and everything. So we've got Master Archer here. So essentially what I'm getting from this is they kind of change arrows depending how close the enemies are. So obviously up close you're using heavy bodkin arrows that go to up to 40 to 90 meters. And then you've got most common arrow that's going to be 90 meters plus. And then you have the light feather arrow, and it tells you how it's made with lighter wood, smaller heads, flies much further, but reduces accuracy and lethality. So yeah, this is quite unique for the archer, that they can literally change arrows. Didn't really think of that. I thought the longbows that they were going to make would be sticking like stakes in the ground, a bit like the swine feathers, so they can stop cavalry. But you know, I actually think this is pretty cool. Agincourt Rain, Arrow Storm roll. Longbowmen strike fear into foes. Enemies struck repeatedly by arrows have movement speed reduced by 25%. This affects doubles versus cavalry. So essentially it is the Veterancy Longbowmen mastery, I believe. Similar. And then long shot, boasting long range, they excel at suppressing foes from afar, dealing an extra 500 piercing damage to range infantry. So they anti-range things very, very easily. These are going to be the anti-range to the anti-range. If someone's got Veterancy Longbowmen and they're trying to anti-range, these guys are going to anti-range even further. So, yeah, that is that. But overall, looking very cool. I like the way they look. Love this big longbow here. Really, really nice. Formations look good. Nothing else to say, really. It's all looking pretty nice. The eyes are a bit disconcerting, as I said. Yeah, so tell me what you think. I know we're not obviously haven't been able to use them because that comes next week, but I thought it'd be nice to kind of see what they look like and what all the unit traits are and vet lines and that sort of thing. So yeah, that's it. Looking good. Looking forward to using them. Mostly looking forward to using the Bastard Sword. I'll bring you more updates on the beta as it goes on, and as soon as we can get the Bastard Sword going and units, if they get changed or whatever, we will bring it to you. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next one.